There we go. Good morning. Sorry about that. All right. I should do that beforehand, but background will be painted today. Pretty happy about that. Hey, Austin, good morning. How are you? And then once my daughter's kind of chosen those colors, what I'm going to do is use some of that to kind of paint the white square tubing, and then this thing will be ready to go. I gotta find a good home for this thing though. Just 1 second. Anyway, happy Monday to you, Austin. Good morning. Let's get some coffee in. All right, I'm gonna get cracking a little bit on this shitball plane, and then we're going to work on do a little show and tell. I'm just gonna get ready to do something with this. I gotta scribe the lines. That's what I gotta work on today. Let's do some line scribing first, and then we're gonna get the guns installed. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. So it was a nice, quiet day. Spent it with my younger daughter, who is now 18. No more babies. Come on, cute. No more babies. Got that, got that. Thanks. Hey, how's everybody doing this morning? It is Monday. It's my first day back from vacation. I'm gonna try to be positive and optimistic. See where it goes. Positivity, optimism. Gotta think that the work week's at least gonna start well before it goes down the shitter. Nah. Yo, what's going on, Ken? Good morning. How you feeling, Ken? How was your weekend? But also, how are you feeling? Let's get this guy over here. mercy. Let's go to, I got 4 of these things to do. I'm not doing anything at the wing root, just don't care enough. Hey Nick, good morning. Weekend was good, uneventful but good, just waiting on a surgery, on a date. Oh boy. Ken, can I ask how incapacitated you are? Are you incapacitated? Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too, Jonah. How are you? Heck. Hey, Jaden. Good evening. What's going on? There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm just laying down some tape for scribing. Hey, Ken. Not bad, suppose. Head to work in like 15. Yeah. I'm gonna, at the top of the hour, I got to get ready to do the same. My vacation week is now done. I'm heading back to the orifice. Heading back to the office this morning. My younger daughter's also getting ready for school. Everybody's getting ready to do stuff today. I can use the arm, but the bicep is attached, so movement is weak. Ouch. Awkward and a little painful. Ouch. Ouch, Ken. Hey, Edwin. Good evening. How are you? Trust me, I'd rather call out and build all day. I'll just start with calling out and call it done. Hey, Peter. What's going on, brother? Yippers. Calling out. What's funny is my judge's eye on this model right now is that putting this thing on a competition table would be a disaster. You know, you can just see all the flaws and everything like that on here. But that's all right, because this isn't going on a competition table. I'll show it, but not competing with it. It's just not that. Yeah, screw it. I guess they're trauma. I'm sorry, Ken. Who's trauma? That gets cleaned up. baskets. I'm going to eliminate that one because I just don't care. I think we've got all the ones going this way. I guess their trauma is back, so hopefully this week or early next week. Oh, okay, their trauma. Got it. Now I get it. The surgical group. All right, good luck with that. Is that from the Kirk collection? Yeah. Yes, it is, Peter. Yeah. You know. So like with anything, I think what's important with this model is just to get it done, get it off the bench, but also at least do something with it that you can almost hang your hat on, almost. So there'll be some kind of painting going on this thing. Try to at least do something good with that, and just say at least I completed something from the Kirk collection this year, which would make me happy. So for those who don't know, we were the club that I belong to. We were donated a massive amount of models, massive. I mean, I'm talking about thousands, and they were all from, I would say, from the 60s through the early 20 teens, the majority of which are probably from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. This one is probably late 1990s, and from a very small factory. This guy would go out and just buy everything and then just do a comparison about how does this compare to, like, he almost did his own personal reviews. He had every intention of building everything and took very detailed notes of what made this model strong or weak. But as I said, many of the models that he had are older, and many of them from smaller productions that were really bad. This is a special hobby kit, and I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. But like I said, I wanted, because of the donation, and don't get me wrong, not every model that was provided to us was hot garbage. There were a number of really good ones as well. But trying to find some of those within the where it was not easy. So in any case, I wanted to build one this year. And this is the one I chose because I liked the way it looked. I'm regretting not having gone to the Potez. The only thing I didn't want to do is that one it was a prop job, and I didn't want to work on a propeller plane since I just completed one. Glad to hear they weren't all below your standards. Nope, not all below. What's going on, Ray? Okay, got that one done. I don't care about the rest of that. We'll see how that goes. And some of this is going to be interesting. I'm going to see how it actually looks once we get primer on it. My hope is to get primer on this thing in the next few days. Yeah, it's interesting comment that Ray brings up. I don't generally have a standard for a model. In fact, I don't mind working on older models or more difficult ones. Didn't want to break another engine. I just didn't want to work on another prop, but yeah, that too, Nick. Ken is giving me, nice. I just didn't want to work on another prop. So we got Some tells me there's going to be quite a bit of surfacer going to be applied. I got to thin it out too. I think for the kind of stuff that I'm doing right now on this thing, I'm going to probably have to thin it out pretty significantly. Damn it. These lines. It's funny. These lines are, I'm ramping quite a bit. Ramping, right? Like this one block right here, getting a lot of ramping. There we go. Got some new action figures from Sugo Toys Australia, an Ultraman Ace figure, and a Mosho Toys Sierra figure. Nice. What was your first piece to make? What was my first piece? The first model I ever made? Like from way back in the day? That was I think that was the Lindbergh Mayflower, which I made in the early 1970s. I think I still have it somewhere. I'm not saying it's whole, it's not even well made, but I would say that's probably the first model I made. I do. I have it somewhere. I think it's in one of the boxes with a lot of my mother saved all of my models from when I was a kid. And I believe it's in that box. I did a show and tell of some of the stuff that's in there, God, a year or two ago. I have to revisit that at some point. You know that now that I'm on YouTube, I may want to do some of that new stuff, or that old stuff, I should say, as if it's new, like doing like showing some of the historical collection. Just not a big fan of, I don't know, of showing, models in boxes. I always find that to be a bit of it's cool to see some of the stuff that was actually produced, but I also think that there's a bit of hubris in doing that, and I'm not a big fan of that. Comparing it to your latest works, do you think it's still stand? Oh God, no, not even close. It's a mess of shit. I see. Yep, it's a good nickname for it. What's going on, E? How you feeling, brother? How's your arm? No, I'd have to say that in general. I mean, it's like anything. I look at the work that I did in the 70s. I look at the work that I did in the 80s and early 90s, and I look at the work that I've been doing over the last year, the last 5 years in particular, even from when I started 8 years ago, got back into the hobby 8 years ago. I think I've shown dramatic improvement, but that's kind of expected. A bit numb sometimes. It's very itchy. Oh, I'm assuming E, it's in a cast. Is that correct? Hmm. Yeah, it's in a cast. Hopefully the cat's not traumatized. The more important question is the cat's still alive. Oof. Let's get some tape down. This one's actually kind of dead. Yep. All right, I'm going to finish a couple lines here, and then what we're going to do is we'll do a little show and tell. I got some more of the last of the what will likely end up being one of the last batches of models, or not models, of any supplies for through AliExpress coming through until whatever happens with this this trade bullshit comes to an end. My brother in Christ, she got hit, amputated, put on wheels, and still a menace. You as an artist should have some relations with your first work. It should have something special than all the other stuff you made throughout the years. MSA, that's a really good point that you bring up. It's interesting that I remember that model. Like and when I put that, first of all, it's a little Mayflower model. It's like maybe 4 or 5 inches long or whatever. And I glued it together. I mean, I don't even remember how I cut it off, but I probably cut it off with scissors or broke the parts off the runners, glued it all together using white glue, PVA glue. I remember then at one point, years later, trying to clean it off, put it in the tub, and the thing fell apart. I glued it back together with testers, cement at the time. Prices just skyrocketed on AliExpress. Hold on to your carts. Yep, they sure did, right? Yeah, that's exactly it, guys. Dude, it's like everything. It's like the model prices there. No. Nope. And in fact, what's interesting is I'm curious to see what's going to happen when a lot of that stuff, like if Meng is costing you that much buying from China directly, how much is it going to be over here in the US? Is that $100 model, that $80 model now going to be $130, $170? No. Anyway, it's destruction, my friends. It's destruction. So MSA, the point is that model does have a special place in my heart because as I've been thinking about, what model was my first model getting into the hobby, it's in a lot of the models that I worked on jet planes, like passenger planes. I had Braniff Air, like it's the color the plane is in like came in an orange, like a bright orange plastic. It was awful. So a lot of that stuff I still have. The painting I have did on it was pretty crap because again, didn't know really. I didn't have a mentor per se to show me how I did that stuff. So it's pretty crap, but it does have a special place in my heart, and it always will. It's just not something that I would say, yeah, maybe I will at some point pull it out and show it to the club as like, what's the first model that you may still have that you worked on? But is it representative of my work? Oh gosh, no. Is it representative of me? Well, it has to be because I built it way back in the day. Hem and shopping later. Price is crazy. Oh yeah, the nippers that Ray provided me, these Freeu tools or whatever they're called, which are very nice. What, $13, $15 are now over 20. Model prices. A model that I picked up a few months back that was 13, 15, $17 is now somewhere between 20 and 30 plus shipping. It's getting crazy. It's like one of them actually was weird. It was like it's $30 and then $50 to ship. I'm like, what the hell is that about? $80? Yeesh. So yeah, it's getting pretty bad out there. Anyway, MSA, good points, good questions. Appreciate that. And I do think you're right. It's be proud of what you worked on, for better or worse. Model from SNA was 11 when I got it. Looking at the new release, it's almost 40. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And this is again, this is through AliExpress where you're buying stuff pretty much not necessarily directly from the manufacturer, but usually at really good and aggressive pricing. But it is, the tools, where you're able to get tools at a really good rate. Oh, what happened there? Those are those days are kind of now behind us. All right. I'm gonna just do this one line here, and then we're gonna call it a session for at least from this. I'm gonna do what they call it, do the show and tell. There we go. Most of this has actually now been pretty well cleaned up. I do think I need to sharpen this chisel. In the next few days, I'll actually do that. I'll show you how I've done it before, but I'll show folks how I clean it, which is something I learned from good mate of mine, Child of Mecca, Tim Harkins. I'll do a little show of how I sharpen chisels. Hopefully I won't destroy something along the way. Alright. Even when tariffs are gone, prices won't drop too much. This is giving manufacturers an idea of what people will pay. They don't have any reason to go back to what it was. I think it'll take time. I think you're right, Austin. I think there will be some people who will be like, hey, let's especially if the tariffs aren't hitting them, it's for them to profit. I hope that's not going to last very long. But but I think you're right. Like after the pandemic, prices never dropped, just became a new plateau, which became the new base. We're gonna be broke, but as it ain't much of a difference. Yeah, if you do, we'll all be there watching. Yeah, we'll all be there watching. All right, let's do the show and tell. I'm not disagreeing. Austin's got a valid point. That this is the new norm, and at some point, it becomes unsustainable as more and more Americans start to suffer. I'm talking. I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I can certainly speak for us. As we start to suffer, it's like that $10 thing is not costing us $12. What's $2? But you multiply that across everything that you're buying. If everything goes up by 20%, my base salary hasn't gone up by 20%. My income hasn't gone up by 12%. I don't suddenly have 20% more income. So yeah, all that stuff starts becoming unmanageable. It's going to be bad. All right. Let's open up package number one. I didn't even open this up last night. Yesterday was my daughter's birthday, as I was saying. Had a great time with her. Lovely time. We finished watching The Residence, which is something that as a family we really enjoyed. And then after that, my wife made her a scratch made, not scratch built, birthday cake. And what else? We went out to dinner last night. Had some lovely Italian food. All right, let's start with these. So Ray Studios has released some really interesting tools, and I was actually kind of excited about some of this stuff. They have these new brushes. So I'm looking forward to trying out these, and these are in 3 different sizes, and they are tiny. Let's see if you guys can see them. Like, that's pretty tiny. This was fabulous, even if it was Wes Anderson vibes. Caught your show Thursday. I have a real problem with one of your POVs. Only one? Hell, if it's only one, I'm doing okay. All right, additional stuff from Ray. So these are, I forgot what kind of a bit they call these things. You're talking shit about 800 grit. I always talk shit about 800 grit. It's unusable. So I've got these things in a few different sizes: 5.0, 4.5, 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, and 2. Camphor bits, thank you. And what they're designed to do is to create these really nice, sort of more rounded holes. So I've got, I kind of like this. This is a little different from the ones that God Hand makes. God Hand makes ones that are like more of a straight camphor, and these are more of a rounded camphor because the bit itself is rounded, which I think is kind of cool. Ken, I'll let you live your fantasy. All right, all kidding aside, Ray, I mean, Ken, I agree with you. I think that there is some truth to having some of that stuff. Hang that up. Having some of that stuff available. If I'm doing like polishing, like I'll probably hit some of this thing with 800 grit because there's some significant scratches in order to get this thing down using a pretty high grit. So yes, I'll probably hit the surface with like a 600 and an 800 grit. All right, there's number one. So with a lot of this stuff, it's like tools that I can see myself using, kind of like this guy here, which I'm, next time I do a scratch build project, this thing is definitely going to be the tool that's going to get used. Deburring tool and some 800 grit. Good for you. All right. This is I'm guessing first of all, it's by Alex and Model, which I've purchased their stuff before. This stuff, they make some really nice photo etch tools. So this is a pretty stiff photo etch, basically scribing guides. They include some screws so you can mount it onto hey Clint, good morning. What's going on, brother? So you can mount it onto some kind of a, what they call it, a handle. And what they do is, instead of having to lay down, instead of having to lay down tape, you can use the edge of a, let's see if they actually have it here. That's the plastic stand. Oh, these are more tools. No. So what these things allow you to do is instead of using tape, you can actually run this thing along the edge of a plastic model and be able to scribe in lines. Edge scribing guides are tricky. Go slow and take your time. Oh, absolutely. No, I've tried something like this before. I actually have a tool that does something like this with mixed results. So yes, these things are try and figure it out because it ain't going to be always easy, but give those a shot. And these were like, I don't know, $3, $4. It's probably like $10 now, but anyway, try those out. And then the last thing was Yes, I did get one model. The Avro Vulcan in 1/144 scale. Back in my day, soup was a nickel. It's always great when you go back and take a look at some historical photos from the 40s and how much it was to go to a diner. 45 cents. You got a burger, fries, cup of coffee. Good times. You have angered the brotherhood of 800 grit. You shall rue the day you underestimated us. Oh, I'm so scared. Rue, I say, rue. All right. Good. Actually, I'm going to take this thing out because this is so cool. Rue, I say. First of all, the packaging on this is pretty damn good, and the way this thing got shipped over. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna take it out of here. Let's see if I can get this thing to actually be a little less shiny. But let's see if you can see some of the detailing on there. But like the detailing on that plastic is really, really nice. And the shape of this thing, so it's literally the top half and the bottom half coming together. I mean, look at like the bottom of the wing. And it's really nice and clean. And it's not a huge parts count on this thing either, which is nice. So it's a fairly straightforward model to kind of put together. There's only two runners plus your tops and bottom halves, and then you've got some clear parts. They actually do have pilots, which you can kind of put in 1/144 scale. Good luck with that. Hold you down, Ken. We'll hold you down, Ken. We'll run grit on you. Oh, you're gonna polish me, are you? Oh, I'm so scared. Even includes a little base. Nice. Get rid of that. Let's see if I can actually see. And some nice water slides. You'd be so annoyed, and it would be then passed to the Brotherhood of 1,000 for further filing. Keep it up. We'll include paper cuts. Okay, that bothers me. No paper cuts. Anyway, very happy about that. So this is made by a company called Great Wall. They make a couple of other things too, which are kind of cool. They actually make the Victor and the Valiant too. The Valiant, which I believe was the first in the series of the V series bombers, British bombers. I'm assuming. But the Vulcan was the one that's always got me. So if anybody remembers Thunderball, that was the bomber that was used in that movie. And of course, being, a Sean Connery, James Bond fan, gotta have that in the collection. As I said before, for me, a lot of choices of models, sometimes they're just building them just to do something fun with. Other times, like that, they resonate because of I really enjoy the movie, and I want to just kind of build something that kind of maybe not reflects the movie, but just brings up that time. I'll be thinking about Bond while I'm working on that. You thought B-29 was big. B-29 is big. That model's 1/144 scale. Somebody's actually going to give me a 1/72nd scale Airfix version of that someday. I'm not sure I necessarily need that, but we'll see. Anyway, with that, guys, time for me to get going here. I got to head on up, see my daughter off to school, go from there. Not much longer for that. Only another few weeks, and she's a graduate. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Thanks for being on this morning. I do appreciate it. Fun morning. Good conversation. Thank you for humoring me as I'm working on this monstrosity. See you tomorrow. Later, Edwin. Good morning, Nick. Later, Ken. So, guys, go out there and do good. Brighten the world as much as you possibly can. It's a crazy world. Crazy. Getting crazier by the day. Insane. We're actually in the level of insane. Go out there and do good. Show kindness. Show the good that's out there. Do good by people. Don't just sit there and screw them like certain people in certain power are doing. Make it a better world. All right. With that, I'll be back on tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Enjoy the day, guys. Love you all, and I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.